Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with a preview and prediction of Monday night's game tonight in week 2 between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns. Let's talk about this one. And before I do that, if you guys could like this video and also subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate that. And thank you everyone who has subscribed over the last week or so. Tough one here on tap for Pittsburgh. No Cam Hayward, no Deontay Johnson, although as of this recording, I'm doing this Sunday, just in full disclosure, does not appear the Browns will have their top receiving target in Amari Cooper, but overall I think Pittsburgh is in worse shape injury-wise than Cleveland, who's also missing Jack Conklin, their right tackle. Let's start with that Browns offense, and they ran the ball early and often and effectively against the Bengals in week 1. 40 rushing attempts, 206 yards. Of course, Nick Chubb is their lead back. I know the carries, if you look at just the box score between him and Jerome Ford, were pretty close last week, but Ford got much of that time in the fourth quarter when that game was really already decided. So Chubb, for my money, I think you could argue he's the best pure runner in football, alongside of Derrick Henry, but I would put potentially Chubb in that number one top spot. And he got more involved in the receiving game. He had 4 catches last week. So they run, their zone scheme very effectively, a lot of outside zones, aiming point more to the tight end, bit wider run, but Chubb's vision is so good, and he's so good laterally and making those, jump cuts and getting vertical, getting upfield, that he can, bounce the run, he can bend the run back, he can bang the run, between the guards. And so it's a good offensive line. Wyatt Teller's a mauler in the run game. Antonio's been solid. Dawan Jones, the rookie, he's athletic. He can work in the zone scheme. I think they're looking for a bit more out of him in the run game, but he's got the movement skills to work in their system. But they run gap. They run a ton of gap scheme too, pulling the guards, pin and pulls, and G leads with the front side guards. And so if you're Pittsburgh, you probably don't want to mug the linebackers up in a lot of, even 3rd and 4 passing situations, because they're running situations for Cleveland. They had a run last week where the Bengals put both linebackers up in the A gap, and they pinned those guys down. They pulled the ball. The Browns did, and Chubb ran off the guard for 15-yard gain. And so point is that they're going to work angles well. They're going to finish their blocks. And so can you get off of blocks? Can you fit the run well? Those are going to be really important keys, because the bread and butter of this Browns offense is through the running game. Off their running game, Mr. Play Pass game and play action with the boots that Deshaun Watson will have. And, of course, you would expect him to be more comfortable this year than where, he was last year when Pittsburgh sacked him 7 times in that Week 18 regular season finale. It's hard to evaluate their passing game. They got a big lead against the Bengals, and it was a bad rain, and Watson didn't look particularly sharp, but obviously he's a running threat, and your rush lane integrity, you want to get after him, you want to sack him. Pittsburgh should be able to do that, but you're trying to rush smart at the same time. Watson took off on the Browns' first 2 third downs of that game. They had a quarterback draw out of empty, alert empty in, red zone, 10, 15-yard line for that quarterback draw. He scored on that last week, and so he's a guy where you can have really good coverage and have a good call on 3rd down, but he can create and run or extend the play. You got a plaster, so it's really a tough job overall. Again, Cooper probably will not play in this game, but they got other weapons to throw to. Elijah Moore, watch out for him. He's using a variety of ways, pass game, run game. The first play of their season in week 1, he was lined up as a running back, and Chubb was a fullback, and Chubb got the handoff on kind of a fullback zone. I don't know what you want to call it on that one, but they're going to use Moore pretty creatively. He took a reverse field on a jet run and got 19 yards off of it. There's Njoku, who's continually gotten better and better for them. They got a couple of, good size, good body type receivers in Donovan Peoples-Jones and the rookie Cedric Tillman, who didn't play much last week but should have an increased role with Cooper being out. And just watch for some trickery. They did some kind of funky stuff out of Wildcat last week. They had a Chubb in the Wildcat and hand the ball off to Watson, who then threw it. So they're feeling pretty good about their offense right now. Defensively, we've known the Brown's strength has been up front, but they've gotten much, much better. It used to be Garrett and a couple of guys. Clowney was never that good for them. He was really overrated, but they've really added some dudes in Oronquo. Pronunciation's a little bit sketchy there, but the former Texan, Dalvin Tomlinson, to be a big guy in the middle. Siaki Ika, he didn't dress in week 1. I think it was an injury. He may dressed this week. Zadarius Smith, they really move these guys around. I think Myles Garrett, we talk about Garrett versus Dan Moore as the battle, and no question, I think in a lot of obvious pass situations, third down and a half end of game, you're going to see a lot of Garrett on Moore, but he's more than just a right defensive end going over left tackle. He's going to play both sides, probably play more left end on early downs, but third down, he's going to be off-ball linebacker. I'm sure you guys have seen the crossover move that he had over the Bengals center last week, and he beats him through the A gap and gets pressure, and Burrow got sacked, not by Garrett, but he influenced it on the play. And so Garrett's a guy who's really become really flexible for them, even more so than probably what Nick Bosa was last week. And Bosa's a guy that can move around, but it's not just him. Smith will kick inside and play 3-tech. They're going to rotate these guys. They're going to play 5 down fronts in the run game. In the pass game, they're going to stunt. They're going to twist. They're going to have the nose tackle head up over center, so it's tough for him to slide, and so it's tougher to give double team help to the left tackle or the right tackle on Myles Garrett. So there's a lot of challenges up front. Communication is going to have to be key in this one for this Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line, because under Jim Schwartz, he's going to throw a lot at you. Pass game coverage. Last week, the Browns were locked down against the Bengals. They have 3 quality corners in Denzel Ward and Martin Emerson, Greg Newsome, guys that are aggressive, physical, have some size overall. They're going to play press man. They're going to play a fair amount of cover one, but they're going to rotate coverages as well. They're going to have combination coverages where they're going to lock the backside, X receiver in 3x1. They're going to zone the trip side, and so there's a variety of different things you're going to get. You're not going to get just one thing from the Cleveland Browns. I think if you're Pittsburgh, you want to use stacks and bunches to create some more free releases against these, physical man press heavy type of corners, especially without Deontay Johnson, your best route runner by far. Might use some more 2x2 so they can't lock things up the way that they do in 3x1. But it's a good group overall. Linebackers are solid, and JOK, he's athletic. He can play sideline to sideline, and Taki's a bit more their strong side guy. They got good safety play. Probably going to get back Juan Thornhill in this game. That was one of their big free agency acquisitions. He did not play in week 1. The Browns defense still totally locked down Cincinnati. So it's a tough team overall. I think they look really good on defense, and they know who they are on offense. One last note, I think field position is going to be really important for Pittsburgh. The punting unit and Presley Harvin in particular have to be better. Pittsburgh's going to win. It's probably going to be close because, A, it's always close. I think Pittsburgh's coming into this game undermanned and not looking quite as talented as Cleveland overall. And so can you flip the field? Can you pin those guys back? Pittsburgh, with all the turnovers and issues last week, lost the battle of field position pretty significantly, didn't punt well, didn't cover well, et cetera, et cetera. And that can't happen again. You can't give the Browns the advantage. I think on paper, and people may disagree, but I think on paper, the Browns in this game have a better offense and have a better defense. And so you better try to gain that edge back somewhere, and that place is special teams. It means situational football. It means taking care of the football. It means not beating yourself, which happened too often to Pittsburgh in week 1. So my prediction, you can probably see where I'm headed with this one. And listen, I'm wrong quite a bit. I'm not that good at predicting these games, to be honest. I was wrong last week, picking Pittsburgh over San Francisco. But I have the Browns winning this one 24-14. And I just have a bad feeling this one could get kind of ugly. And again, Pittsburgh can be scrappy, and they seem to play well when they're kind of in the corner and the chips are down. They're the underdog. They're not getting talked about the way that they were in the summer, but I just don't know how they're going to stop the run effectively and consistently without Cam Hayward. How are they going to move the ball without Deontay Johnson against these talented Cleveland Browns corners? And you're just kind of nervous about this one. I think the Browns really kind of know who they are, and how will Pittsburgh handle that defensive line overall. And sorry for the beeps that are going off. That was a YouTube alert, but you get the point overall that I got the Browns winning this one 24-14. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree that Cleveland will win this game, or do you believe the Pittsburgh Steelers will finally get a win and go to 1-1 on the year? And man, they really could use it to go 0-2 and then to be 0-1 in the AFC North when the Ravens just moved to 2-0. And I mean, it would of course mean the Browns are 2-0 and 2-0 in the AFC North, not where you want to be if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. So a crucial game here to try to get back on top and get back in that win column. So either way, win, loss, or draw, we'll talk about this one. Have hopefully a recap very late on Monday or basically early Tuesday, and then some film room throughout the week. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.